Kristi Noem is known for two things: her perfect win record in fights to the death with puppies, and having a face even a mother couldn't love, but she could buy. And people are starting to ask, how did Kristi Noem pay for all that work? Because there are a lot of suspicious payments when you dig into her financials that are starting to resurface. From her time as governor of South Dakota, her state-owned credit card bill totaled a whopping $650,000, and new evidence is coming to light of shady direct payments from a Dark Money PAC that was not disclosed on her ethics form. Let's dive into the reporting because this rabbit hole goes deep. I want to start with these undisclosed payments because it's actually going to connect us back to the credit card bill from when she was governor. ProPublica dropped this bombshell report covering the dark money group that paid Kristi through her personal company while she was governor. In 2023, Kristi Noem was governor of South Dakota. She supplemented her income by secretly accepting a cut of the money she raised for a nonprofit that promotes her political career, taxes show. In what experts described as a highly unusual arrangement, the nonprofit routed funds to a personal company of Noem's that had recently been established in Delaware, of course, the tax haven state of Delaware. The payments totaled $80,000 that year, a significant boost to her roughly $130,000 government salary. Since the nonprofit is a so-called dark money group, one that's not required to disclose the names of its donors, the original source of the money remains unknown. In the filing, the group, a nonprofit called American Resolve Policy Fund, keep that name in your mind because we'll touch on that later, described the $80,000 payment as a payment for fundraising. The organization said Noem had brought in hundreds of thousands of dollars. There is nothing remarkable about a politician raising money for nonprofits, but what is unusual, experts say, is for a politician to keep some of the money for themselves. If donors to these nonprofits are not just holding the keys to an elected official's political career, but also literally providing them with their income, that's new and disturbing, said Daniel Weiner, a former Federal Election Commission attorney who now leads the Brennan Center's work on campaign finance. ProPublica discovered details of the payment in the annual tax form of American Resolve Policy Fund, which is part of a network of political groups that promote Noem and her agenda. You can see that here's the filing. She allegedly brought in $800,000, to which she was paid a 10% cut of $80,000 to Ashwood Strategies, LLC. Funny enough, Ashwood is also the name of this horse that Kristi Noem is riding, who seems somewhat aware of what Kristi Noem plans to do with him after he's no longer useful. Now, this political action committee that Kristi Noem is working with, the American Resolve Policy Fund, they have a history of protecting Noem whenever her shady finances pop back into the public limelight. Back in South Dakota, a local newspaper called the Dakota Scout fought in court in order to secure the records for Kristi Noem's credit card that she used while she was governor.
The Governor Kristi Noem's state credit card spending that revealed more than $600,000 in charges. Governor Larry Roden is ensuring that his state-issued credit cards usage will not be the same as Noem's. Noem's credit card records were made public after resigning as South Dakota governor to become the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. The records showed more than $600,000 in spending, including vehicle rentals, high-end hotels, and meals. Governor Roden says his state-issued card use will not be an issue.
I rarely use my state credit card. There's times when I'm out with a group, and a lot of times I forget that I even have one.
Noem's record showed that her spending far surpassed her predecessor, Dennis Dugard.
There are over 1,200 transactions that total $650,000, 5 times her annual salary. Most included lodging, food, plane, and car travel, but some of that was pretty suspicious. Like, for example, here's just some of the transactions. And for the governor of South Dakota, she sure did spend a lot of money and time in Las Vegas, spending thousands of dollars at the Venetian for lodging, and $350 at the MGM Grand for miscellaneous. Now, I don't know about you guys, but it sure does seem like Ice Barbie here was spending taxpayer dollars on the casino floor, gambling away at the MGM Grand before taking a taxi to the Venetian where she was staying. Now I can see why this might not look good for her political career, and why her friends over at the American Resolve Policy Fund took it upon themselves to attack the Dakota Scout on behalf of Noem. A political action committee with ties to Kristi Noem launched social media posts last week attempting to discredit reporting by the Dakota Scout on the former governor's use of state-issued credit cards. The American Resolve Policy Fund, there's that name again, is circulating a March 7th Fox News digital story about a lawsuit threat from a personal lawyer of the former South Dakota governor in Washington, D.C. The Dakota Scout has been exposed for publishing lies about Kristi Noem, which have been known to be false since at least July 2024. This isn't just bad reporting, it's a baseless political hit. The Dakota Scout rejected the accusation, pointing to 4,000 pages of records supporting the reporting. It's a familiar playbook often used by Noem allies through PACs that shelter politicians and candidates with dark money, funding misinformation and shadowy tactics. Noem, via her lawyer, claimed that she only used the cards for about $2,000 personally. But a story published by the Scout detailed more than $300,000 paid for Noem's security. Other charges for lodging, food, and expenses were done directly for her, if not by her. The Noem connections to American Resolve Policy Fund are numerous as well. Their PAC raised money specifically to support Noem as a high-profile campaigner for conservative candidates in last fall's election. Longtime Noem aide Leslie Hicks was paid $10,000 for event consulting. Baker and Holstetter, the employer of Noem's current personal lawyer who threatened legal action against the Scout, received $4,567. That's a fun amount. And the Strategy Group, an Ohio-based campaign consultant that worked for Noem in 2022, was paid $3,000. Sean Beck, a fellow Republican, said he supported Noem and believed she was doing a great job until her national profile started to rise during the COVID pandemic in 2020. She saw a rocket ship to ride on, he said. It worked, definitely, but you look at the mess she left in South Dakota, and I hope she thinks it was worth it. Now, the ultimate irony is that according to South Dakota House Bill 1060, which Kristi Noem herself signed into law, her own lodging costs severely outnumbered the maximum lodging rate allowed by law of $107. But seeing as she's taking direct payments from the same dark money group that helped her get out of this little political snafu, I don't think she cares too much about following the law, which is ironic given her current position. If you guys want to stay informed on this kind of stuff that MAGA doesn't want you to know, well, you know where to find it, right here at Really American. We greatly appreciate all of your support. And please know, we do read the comments, so if you want to let us know what you think, feel free to join the conversation below. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.